Have you ever wondered why, even when we do everything right, some relationships still seem to fail? Or maybe you feel like something is missing to take your connection to the next level. In today's video, I'm going to reveal powerful tips that can immediately transform the dynamic of your relationship, and the best part, they're things you've probably never heard before. Stay until the end, because what you're going to discover here could change everything. Let's dive in. You know that feeling when someone seems interested in you, even without saying a word? That's the power of nonverbal flirting. Small gestures like holding eye contact for a few seconds longer can say a lot. The gaze, for instance, is one of the clearest signs of interest. If you notice someone looking into your eyes, not in an invasive way, but firmly and warmly, that can be an indication of attraction. It's that kind of look that seems to say, "I want to know more about you." Often, the eyes say what words can't express. Touch is also a powerful tool in flirting. We're not talking about anything invasive or exaggerated, but subtle touches that create a more intimate connection. For example, brushing fingers when handing something over, lightly touching someone's shoulder or arm during a conversation, or even adjusting something in the environment next to them. These gestures not only create closeness, but also help break down the stranger barrier, giving off a sense of familiarity. Another important detail is posture. Open body language, like avoiding crossing your arms, keeping your body facing the person, and leaning in slightly while they speak, indicates receptiveness and interest. On the other hand, gestures like touching the face, playing with hair, or adjusting clothing can also be unconscious signs that someone is trying to grab attention or show positive nervousness. Moreover, tone of voice can be an ally in flirting. Speaking in a softer tone, or even playing with slight changes in intonation, can give off an air of mystery and charm. Smiles also play an essential role. A genuine smile lights up the conversation and creates a more comfortable atmosphere. A small smile paired with a sideways glance can be irresistible. Think of it like a silent dance. When two people are able to read these signals and respond to them, it creates a natural chemistry, something that doesn't always need to be verbalized. It's almost like a game of what if between two souls. But of course, respecting boundaries is essential. If the other person doesn't reciprocate the gestures, steps back, or seems uncomfortable, it's a sign that the interest may not be mutual. The beauty of flirting lies in the exchange, the balance between showing interest and allowing the other person to respond naturally. Flirting, in the end, is about connecting in a light and fun way, creating small moments that can mean a lot for the beginning of a relationship. Have you ever noticed how laughter can break the ice in any situation? In the realm of relationships, humor is one of the most powerful tools to create connection and attract someone's interest. It's not just about telling jokes or being the class clown of the conversation, but knowing how to use humor to make interactions lighter, more enjoyable, and fun. Humor, especially shared humor, can be a sign of compatibility. When you make someone laugh, or when you both laugh about the same situation, it's like creating a secret code between you. That's why witty banter and clever jokes are so effective. They show that you're creative, spontaneous, and able to find joy in the little things. For example, imagine you're talking to someone about a movie you both watched. Making a funny comment about a specific scene or joking about a detail from the film can turn a regular conversation into something memorable. Humor, in these cases, works as an emotional glue, creating moments that the person will remember and associate with you. But be careful. Humor needs to be balanced and sensitive. Making jokes at someone else's expense, overdoing sarcasm, or being pushy can have the opposite effect. The goal is to create a light atmosphere, not an uncomfortable one. A good tip is to use humor to talk about yourself casually. Joking about your own mistakes or embarrassing moments shows that you're approachable and confident enough not to take yourself too seriously. Additionally, laughter is contagious and brings a sense of emotional intimacy. Studies show that people associate laughter with intelligence and attractiveness because it indicates that you know how to communicate in a positive way. And let's face it, who doesn't like being around someone who lightens up their day with a good laugh? In the context of deeper relationships, humor also plays an important role. It helps resolve conflicts, eases tension, and strengthens emotional bonds. Imagine a couple arguing about something trivial. A funny comment at the right moment can clear the air and remind both of them why they're together. So, the secret is to use humor as a bridge, not a shield. Ask questions, joke about the answers, but always pay attention to the other person's reactions. Shared laughter is one of the most pleasant sounds two people can create together, and it's also one of the simplest and most genuine ways to show interest and affection. Have you ever had such an engaging conversation that you lost track of time? That's the power of intellectual stimulation in relationships. While physical attraction may create the initial impact, it's often the content of the conversations that keeps the connection alive. Engaging in deep, curious, and stimulating dialogues not only shows interest, but also creates fertile ground for the relationship to develop more solidly. When we talk about intellectual stimulation, it doesn't mean you need to master every subject in the world or be a know-it-all. On the contrary, the real charm lies in showing curiosity and asking questions that genuinely interest the other person. For example, if they mention they like art, you could ask who their favorite artist is or what inspires them about a piece of work. These questions create a safe space for them to share their passions and, at the same time, show that you're genuinely interested in what they have to say. Furthermore, bringing new ideas into the conversation is also a way to attract and maintain interest. Sharing something you've read, learned, or experienced that can enrich the dialogue makes you intriguing and memorable. For instance, instead of just commenting on a documentary you watched, you could share what caught your attention the most and ask the other person's opinion. This transforms a simple exchange into a more profound connection experience. Another crucial point is the ability to listen. Intellectual stimulation isn't just about speaking well, but also about listening attentively and with interest. Often, by showing that you value what the other person is saying, whether with questions, comments, or even a simple, "Wow, I never thought of that," you create an atmosphere of respect and reciprocity. This kind of dialogue builds emotional bridges that go beyond the surface. And don't underestimate the power of intellectual playfulness. Light-hearted debates, like discussing what the best superpower would be or which food dish is most underrated, can be as stimulating as philosophical conversations or life reflections. The secret lies in creating moments where both people feel comfortable exploring ideas, laughing, and connecting. Finally, remember, everyone has unique interests. Identifying the topics that make the other person's eyes light up is one of the biggest signs that you're paying attention and truly care. This exchange isn't just about impressing, but about building something authentic together. When you share ideas, dreams, or even small curiosities, you're planting the seeds of a bond that goes far beyond initial attraction. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to have a gift for handling delicate situations and understanding what others are feeling? That's emotional intelligence, and it's one of the most attractive qualities in a relationship. After all, who doesn't want to be with someone who knows how to listen, understand, and respond to feelings in a genuine way? Emotional intelligence begins with self-awareness. It's the ability to recognize your own emotions, understand how they affect you and the people around you. In relationships, this means being able to identify when something bothers you and, instead of exploding or shutting down, expressing it clearly and respectfully. For example, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," during an argument, you could say something like, "I feel ignored when I try to share something important and don't get attention." This approach not only prevents unnecessary conflict, but also promotes healthier dialogue. Another important aspect is empathy, the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes and understand how they feel. This doesn't necessarily mean agreeing with everything, but showing that you value the other person's feelings. In a relationship, small empathetic gestures can make all the difference. A simple example: if the person you're with has had a tough day, offering support before they even ask, like preparing something they like or just listening without interrupting, demonstrates a care that strengthens the emotional connection. Additionally, emotional regulation is key. We all have moments of frustration or disappointment, but knowing how to handle these emotions in a balanced way is what separates emotionally intelligent people. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can take a moment to reflect and respond more constructively. This not only prevents unnecessary strain, but also shows maturity and emotional control, traits that are incredibly attractive in a partner. One often overlooked point is the ability to recognize the emotions of others, even when they're not verbalized. Sometimes a simple "you seem worried, want to talk about it" can open doors to a deeper and more meaningful exchange of feelings. Showing that you notice the details, like a different tone of voice or a distant look, strengthens intimacy between you both. Ultimately, emotional intelligence is about creating a safe space in the relationship where both partners feel comfortable being vulnerable. When you demonstrate empathy, active listening, and emotional control, you're building a solid foundation of trust. And trust, as we know, is the glue that holds any relationship together. Have you ever felt drawn to someone simply because they were themselves? That's the power of authenticity. In a world where many people try to mold themselves to others' expectations, being genuine becomes an irresistible quality. In the context of relationships, authenticity isn't just attractive, it's the foundation for real, lasting connections. Being authentic means staying true to who you are, without trying to impress or force yourself to fit in. It doesn't mean ignoring the other person's preferences or refusing to compromise in certain situations, but rather having the courage to show your true self. For example, if you're passionate about a hobby that's maybe not mainstream, like collecting vinyl records or writing poetry, sharing that instead of hiding it could be the thing that sparks someone else's interest. Moreover, uniqueness is found in the little things, your gestures, your stories, your way of seeing the world. That's what makes you special, and that's what creates memorable moments in relationships. Imagine having a conversation with someone, and instead of just agreeing with everything to please them, you share your perspective or even playfully disagree with a different viewpoint. This genuine exchange, without the fear of being yourself, creates fertile ground for trust. Authenticity also reflects emotional security. When you're open about your opinions, dreams, or even insecurities, it shows confidence in yourself and a desire to build something real. For example, admitting something simple like, "I'm not great at dancing, but I'd love to learn," shows that you're not afraid to acknowledge imperfections, and that's incredibly attractive. On the other hand, trying to be someone you're not can quickly lead to disconnection. After all, no one can maintain a mask for too long. Plus, authenticity attracts those who truly resonate with you. When you present yourself as you are, the people who connect with you will fall for the real you, not a manufactured version. Sharing your passions, values, and even quirks is what makes interactions stand out. Don't be afraid to laugh at your own way of doing things or express something different. Often, it's in those unexpected details that the deepest connections are made. In the end, being authentic not only attracts people into your life, but also filters out those who might not share your values or interests. It's the key to building a relationship that not only lasts but is truly meaningful and fulfilling for both parties. Have you ever noticed how the way someone interacts with others can say a lot about their personality? In relationships, this is especially relevant. When you get along with someone's friends, it not only strengthens the connection with the person you like, but it can also create a solid foundation of social and emotional support. When you're in a relationship and meet your partner's friends, it's natural to want to make a good impression. However, the key here isn't forcing a friendship, but being genuine. Show yourself as friendly, approachable, and interested in what they have to say. A simple smile, a pleasant conversation, and being present in group activities make all the difference. This sends the message that you're someone who respects relationships and values the social circles that are important to the person you're with. Getting along well with the friends of the person you like also shows that you share certain social values. If you can connect with their friends naturally, it can help create a positive image of who you are and build trust among everyone. For example, if you're kind to the people around you, listen to everyone's stories, and participate in conversations without being selfish, it can show that you have character and are someone trustworthy. Additionally, someone's circle of friends can be an extension of their own personality. By interacting well with those friends, you're actually learning more about your partner's tastes and values, as the people they surround themselves with often reflect a part of what they value most. This can be a great point of connection, as you'll be more aligned with their interests and social world. On the other hand, if there are misunderstandings with friends, or if you seem uncomfortable in social interactions, it could create tension. That's why being authentically yourself and demonstrating respect and empathy for the people around you is crucial. If the person you like notices that you care about their friends and are willing to invest in the relationships around you, it's not only attractive, but it also creates an environment of harmony and reciprocity. Don't underestimate the impact of socializing. Whether in a casual meetup, a gathering with friends, or a celebration, showing that you know how to interact well with others is a great way to strengthen your relationship while also gaining the respect and trust of your partner. Many times in a relationship, there are moments when a simple act of courage can change everything. Taking the initiative is one of the most powerful ways to show your interest and commitment, but it can also be one of the most challenging moves. However, taking the first step, whether to express your feelings or ask someone out, is a clear way to show you're willing to take risks for something worthwhile. When we talk about taking the initiative, it doesn't mean being impulsive or acting without thinking. It's about being assertive and showing that you're ready to take control of the situation when necessary. For example, if you like someone and feel that the attraction is mutual, taking the first step, like making a sincere and confident approach, can show your desire to move the relationship forward. It shows that you're not afraid to express your emotions and that you're open to the possibility of something deeper. Taking the initiative also involves being proactive in other areas of the relationship. If you notice that the other person is having a tough day, stepping forward and offering support, whether through kind words or practical gestures, can make all the difference. It's not about waiting for the other person to come to you, but about anticipating your partner's needs and offering yourself as a reliable source of support. Being the first to show empathy and care conveys the message that you're present and available for the other person, without expecting them to ask or signal what they need. However, it's important to remember that taking the initiative also involves respecting the other person's boundaries. It's not about forcing anything, but rather creating opportunities for the relationship to develop naturally and comfortably. Sometimes, stepping back and waiting for the other person to take the initiative might be the right move, especially during more delicate moments. Furthermore, by taking the initiative, you demonstrate confidence. Confidence is one of the most attractive qualities in a relationship because it conveys security and stability. When you act decisively and assertively, the other person perceives that you're emotionally available and ready to invest in what lies ahead. This can significantly increase the chances of reciprocity, as it shows you're someone who knows what they want and is willing to take action to achieve it. Ultimately, taking the initiative doesn't mean being the only one to make moves in a relationship, but rather being someone who is actively involved and willing to build something with the other person. This is essential for creating balance and harmony in the relationship, where both partners feel valued and committed. In a relationship, it's easy to get lost in your own feelings and desires, but true success comes from understanding and respecting the individuality of the person you're with. Everyone has their own experiences, preferences, values, and even boundaries, and these factors shape who we are. When you take the time to understand and acknowledge these aspects of the other person, you not only strengthen the emotional connection, but you also create an environment of respect and care. When we talk about getting to know someone's individuality, it goes far beyond knowing where they like to eat or what their favorite movie is. It's about understanding their emotions, fears, aspirations, and the little details that make that person unique. For example, if someone feels vulnerable in certain situations or has a specific way of dealing with stress, recognizing these aspects and responding with sensitivity can deepen the relationship. It shows that you're not just getting to know the person on a superficial level, but that you truly care about what makes them who they are. The first step in understanding someone's individuality is communication. Asking about their past experiences, how certain situations affected them, or what they value in life can open the door to a deeper understanding. Actively listening, without rushing to judge or offer advice, allows the person to share their most intimate thoughts comfortably. These conversations are a way to show that you fully accept them as they are. Additionally, individual tastes and interests should also be taken into account. Sometimes what one person enjoys might not be as appealing to another, and that's normal. What matters is that, by understanding these preferences, you show flexibility and a willingness to learn more about what makes the other person happy. For example, if your partner loves a type of music or activity that you're not familiar with, showing genuine interest, and even participating, if possible, is a way to respect their individuality. This creates a foundation of mutual understanding and strengthens the bond. Another important point is respecting boundaries. Everyone has their own boundaries and comfort zones, and when you understand these boundaries, you can avoid causing discomfort or hurt feelings. This doesn't mean you should change your own values, but rather be aware of what is important to the other person and work together to ensure both feel respected and valued. Finally, what makes someone's individuality even more attractive is the fact that everyone has something unique to offer. Each person brings a history, a worldview, and a way of loving that is entirely their own. By valuing these aspects, you're creating a richer and more multifaceted relationship where both partners can grow and learn together. Did you know that listening is one of the most powerful skills you can cultivate in a relationship? Often, when interacting with someone, we become so focused on our own responses or thoughts that we forget to truly pay attention to what the other person is saying. Active listening is the exact opposite of this. It's when you genuinely dedicate yourself to understanding what the other person is expressing, whether verbally or non-verbally, and respond empathetically. Active listening begins with presence. This means giving your full attention to the person when they're speaking, without distractions like your phone or TV. When you're genuinely present, the person feels valued, and their words matter. A simple example is making eye contact while they speak, and, instead of interrupting, allowing them to finish their thought. This seemingly small gesture shows respect and makes the person feel deeply heard. In addition to giving full attention, active listening involves reflecting on what the other person said and often rephrasing their words to confirm that you've understood correctly. This is done smoothly and without pressure. For example, if someone shares a work problem, you might respond with something like, "I get it, you're feeling overwhelmed with tasks, right?" This shows that you're not just listening, but also trying to understand and validate their feelings. Active listening also requires empathy. It's not just about hearing words, but about feeling what the other person is feeling. If the person is going through a tough situation, you might say something like, "I'm so sorry you're going through this. It must be really hard for you." This kind of response creates an emotional connection and shows that you're there for the person, ready to support them, whether by listening or offering help. Moreover, asking follow-up questions shows that you're genuinely interested in what the other person has to say. It creates space for the person to explore their feelings or thoughts more deeply. For example, if the person talks about something that happened during their day, instead of just changing the subject, you could ask, "How did you feel when that happened?" This kind of question encourages communication and shows you're attentive to the person's emotional needs. An important part of active listening is not judging or trying to immediately fix the person's issues. Sometimes what the other person needs is not a quick solution, but simply someone to listen and validate their emotions. Avoid the temptation to offer premature advice unless they ask. Sometimes the most powerful words are simply, "I'm here for you." Active listening also builds trust in a relationship. When the person feels completely and empathetically heard, they feel safer opening their heart and sharing even more. This is one of the foundations of building healthy communication and a deeper connection. Self-confidence is one of the most attractive qualities you can cultivate in a relationship. When you feel comfortable and secure with who you are, it shows in your actions, behavior, and communication. Confidence creates an environment of stability, security, and, most importantly, mutual respect, because you're not trying to be someone you're not to impress the other person. Being self-confident doesn't mean being arrogant or thinking you're superior to others. It means having a healthy understanding of your own strengths and weaknesses. It involves accepting your imperfections and flaws with grace, rather than constantly criticizing yourself. Self-confidence comes from knowing what you have to offer and being comfortable expressing your thoughts, feelings, and desires honestly. When you radiate this confidence, you don't need constant validation from others, and this creates a space where the other person also feels comfortable being themselves. In relationships, self-confidence makes all the difference. Imagine you're having a conversation with someone, and instead of feeling insecure or anxious about what to say, you're simply being yourself, without fear of judgment. This attitude sends the message that you value and respect yourself, and naturally, others tend to do the same. Moreover, self-confidence allows you to face challenges with honesty and responsibility. If misunderstandings or conflicts arise, a self-confident person can approach them calmly and resolutely, without resorting to impulsive reactions or insecurities. Self-confidence also reflects in your daily actions, like taking care of yourself, pursuing your own goals, and maintaining a sense of independence. This doesn't mean you have to be independent from everyone and everything, but it means you're capable of supporting yourself emotionally and seeking personal growth, which is key in any healthy relationship. By pursuing your own interests and engaging in activities that make you happy, you create a solid foundation for relating to others, because you're not solely relying on your partner to feel complete. Another important aspect of self-confidence in a relationship is how you handle vulnerability. Many people believe that showing vulnerability is a sign of weakness, but in reality, it's a sign of strength. When you're self-confident, you can allow yourself to be vulnerable without feeling like your self-esteem is at risk. You're able to admit when you're wrong, apologize when necessary, and express your emotions in a healthy and balanced way. Having self-confidence also means not accepting abusive or disrespectful behavior. When you know your worth, you know you deserve to be treated with respect and dignity. This is reflected in how you establish and maintain healthy boundaries in the relationship and how you communicate your emotional and personal needs. Ultimately, self-confidence is attractive because it conveys security, stability, and the ability to be genuine. When you're comfortable with yourself, you allow the other person to feel comfortable and secure enough to be who they are. This creates a solid foundation for the growth of the relationship, where both partners feel respected, valued, and ready to face life's ups and downs together. When it comes to relationships, clarity and sincerity are essential for ensuring open and honest communication. Being clear about your feelings, intentions, and expectations can prevent misunderstandings and ensure both parties are on the same page. There's nothing more frustrating than uncertainty or the feeling that something isn't being communicated transparently. Sincerity, in turn, builds trust, which is crucial for any lasting relationship. When we talk about clarity, we're referring to the ability to express what you truly feel directly and without beating around the bush. For example, if you're starting to get involved with someone, it's important to communicate what you're expecting from the relationship. Be clear about your intentions, whether it's casual dating or something more serious. This prevents the other person from having different expectations and allows both of you to adjust to each other's needs and desires. Likewise, if you realize something isn't working for you, be honest about expressing it. This shows respect for the other person and the relationship, allowing both to work together to adjust or decide on the future of the connection. Sincerity goes beyond words. It also reflects in actions. If you say one thing but act differently, it can create confusion and insecurity in the relationship. Keeping consistency between what you say and what you do is a powerful way to show you're someone who keeps their word, someone others can trust. For example, if you tell the person you're willing to invest time and energy into the relationship, but your actions don't match, the other person may begin to doubt your intentions. Being sincere doesn't mean being brutal or insensitive. Sincerity should always be accompanied by empathy. You can express your feelings honestly while also respecting the other person's feelings. For example, if you need to talk about something delicate, try doing so in a constructive way without attacking the other person. Sincerity should be an opportunity to resolve issues, not to cause harm. Additionally, clarity and sincerity help create a safe space where both partners feel comfortable opening up and sharing their own vulnerabilities. When you're clear and sincere, you encourage the other person to do the same. This strengthens the bond between you, as both know they're being seen and understood in a genuine way, without games or uncertainty. Clarity also means being transparent about your expectations. If you're looking for something more serious, make that clear from the start. This not only avoids confusion, but also allows the other person to make informed decisions about the future of the relationship. On the other hand, if your intentions don't align with what the other person wants, clarity about that can prevent emotional pain later on. Open communication also helps resolve issues quickly and effectively, rather than letting small problems pile up and turn into something bigger. In a relationship, being clear and sincere is a sign of emotional maturity. It shows you're willing to be vulnerable and authentic, and it's an act of respect not only for the person, but also for the relationship itself. When both of you feel comfortable being sincere, it creates a trust-based connection, which is the most solid foundation for any successful relationship. So, what do you think about these tips for strengthening your relationships? I'd love to hear your opinion. Leave a comment below, share your experience, or let me know what else you'd like to see here. Don't forget to like the video if it helped you, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new content. Your support makes all the difference. See you next time.